So, I'm Henry Jeffries from Malt, and we've got a very special Burns Night program for you. We have Brendan McCarron, who I think probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. Master blender at Distell, working with Bunner Harben, Tobermory, and Deanston, formerly Diageo, the Glenmorangie Group, all that kind of stuff, but now Distell. So we're going to taste some blended whiskey that Brendan works with. Black bottle, double cask black bottle, and the mighty Island Smoke. So Brendan, welcome.
Thank you, Henry. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Yeah, how are you getting on?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I'm busy. So usually anyone that works in the whiskey industry, October, November, December are crazy busy, and usually January is quite, chilled, and you can come back into things lightly. It's not chilled.
Oh, right.
It feels like it's just December again, so, but that's good. It's good to be busy, and we've got lots of exciting things happening, and I've been up to Tobermory Distillery just last week. I'm going to Islay to see Bunner Harben next week. Lots of whiskies being made. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I should warn you, if I start to look a bit vague, it's because I've had very little sleep. Our daughter, 18 months old, is going through just awful teething. So if I look like I've completely zoned out, it's God. Not because you're boring me, okay? I just thought I'd warn you of that.
I feel your pain.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, let's start. You've now been with Distell for a year now, is that right?
It's coming up for a year, yeah. So it's April when you gave me a call and I sort of told you I'm leaving, and you did a wee post, and I kind of felt like I went mini viral, which was great, my ego. But yeah, that was April the 7th that I started. So we're coming up for a year. It's gone by like that,
Great. Well, let's talk and let's try some more. Which one should we start with? Just the
Let's start with black bottle. Let's start with the classic okay. Black bottle.
I haven't tried this for quite a long time, so I think I haven't tried it since the recipe was changed in whenever it was changed.
So that'll be 2013, I believe.
Right.
Because I remember it when I was but a boy, when I was living on Islay with Diageo. That's we would all drink black bottle on Islay because it contains a lot of Islay single malt. It contains all the big, iconic, famous Islay single malts. And when I was on Islay, I played for the football team, and we had, our goalkeeper was working at, Bruichladdich. We had people who worked at Lafroig, people who worked at Arbeg. I was Kalila and Lagavulin and Port Ellen. So after the game, we'd mostly drink beer. I'm not saying we were whiskey nuts, but, if we were going to have a whiskey, there was one way that we could kind of celebrate everybody in the team's job, and that was drink black bottle. So it was like the great equalizer, This newer recipe, it's still smoky. So black bottle signature style is to be quite a high malt ratio in the blend, and that's to make sure that the smoke comes through. But the smoke's lighter. It's lighter than it used to be. And it's also, with black bottle, we use virgin oak. So there's a lot of virgin oak. So that means we finish the blend in virgin oak casks to give it some roundness, and it gives it that kind of like oaky, reassuring sort of caramel, honey, classic whiskey.
I'm getting a lot of sweetness on the nose. I love that sort of sweet note, toffee sort of note.
It's all that, that classic oaky flavour that comes through. But you should get, it's less pronounced than it used to be, but you should get a lovely little bit of smoke in there from these, big Islay classic smoke monsters. Yeah,
and it's very much smoke, isn't it? It's not phenolic, TCP, kind of anything like that. It's sort of wood fires.
It's wood fires. It's like, like burning wood on a beach, that kind of stuff. A wee bit salty, which I love. But not to get the super medicinal stuff, you really need to up the peat content. Keep that in mind for Island Smoke.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. And I'm getting that salty thing that you mentioned. It's very coastal and salty.
It's just an incredible whiskey. And this is one of the reasons that I moved, you know, because I was very, very happy at Glenmorangie, and it was fun and it was exciting, and I got to work on making single malts, which was amazing. But the day I joined there, they pretty much announced that they were no longer making blends, and I was like, damn it, that's blends get a hard time sometimes. I think people forget how special they are and how much creativity and artistry comes into making blends, and that was something I was missing. And that was one of the big pulls to come to Distill. And Black Bottle is very famous in Scotland. And that might sound weird to some people, but Scotch whisky isn't as big in Scotland as it is in some other countries where people love it. But Black Bottle is a very famous brand, and I can remember it from the bars I worked in when I was 18. And it's something that I've enjoyed. And obviously, I have a big affiliation to Islay, as does Black Bottle. So it's an amazing whiskey. And I often hear people saying, oh, do you know, I haven't tasted it recently. And then they taste it and they're like, this is incredible stuff, you know, and people are pound for pound, this is the best thing you can buy. And, you know, it's just a great whiskey. It's just a great whiskey.
Yeah, I remember when I worked in a wine shop in the 90s, Black Bottle was the sort of cult whiskey. You get people who would come in and go, Black Bottle. And it was just, they wouldn't touch anything else. And so if we didn't have the Black Bottle, they would be, you know, and you go, you know, would you like something else? And they'd be like, has to be Black Bottle.
I love it. So yeah, long may it continue. So with Black Bottle, it's it's scarily affordable. That's me trying to be diplomatic here. Scarily.
That could be the advertising campaign. Scarily affordable.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's I just think it is the most ridiculous bargain that you can possibly buy when you think it is high malt ratio, and most of the malts are iconic smoky Islay whiskies. You know, it's incredible. It's like £20 for a bottle. So,
yes. Well, I should say that all of these are available at Master of Malt, and I'm just actually going to exactly how much it is. I think you're right. I don't think it's much more than £20 for a whiskey like this, where you can just taste the malt in it. You know, it's £21.75 at the moment from Master of Malt. So
I mean, come on,
fill your boots.
What's stopping you? What's stopping you? But that's one of the goals for me. Is I just want more people to enjoy Black Bottle. The price of it just makes it's a drinking whiskey. So drink it neat is the way I drink it almost always. But at that price, it lets you be a wee bit adventurous, you know, and you can try making your classic cocktails that everyone's got better at during lockdowns. It's something you can have a bit of fun with, and it's And the other thing I want to do with Black Bottle, and Julianne, who's, you know, the master blender working in my team, is coming back in, and our team, our Black Bottle team, we just feel that there's people who know about Black Bottle and they'll drink it and they'll have it, but there's other people out there who have heard about it but not tried. So that's why, and because it has that smoke that you can play off, that's why we're making the Alchemy series. That's why you have the double cask, and that's why you have the Island Smoke, to show it off in different ways, but also let people come in and see how fun and playful and exciting this this whiskey can be.
Well, should we move on to that? Which one should we try first? The double cask?
Let's do the double cask first. So, yeah. So as I say, there's two kind of, let's say, standouts for me when I'm talking about Black Bottle. There's all sorts of other things. Of course, there's the iconic heritage, you know, there's the incredible Black Bottle, quite literally. There's the original recipe. There's the use of virgin oak, which is quite a key part of the makeup. But really, to me, Black Bottle is two things. It's Islay smoky, and it's sweet. It's woody sweet. So with the Alchemy series, we're kind of feeding off of one of those two things, the Islay smoke or the sweetness. So with the double cask, it is very deliberately going after sweetness. So the smoke is going to come way down, like way down, to just being, you know, a whiff of gunpowder in the background, you know. There's just this tiniest suggestion of smoke. What we've really went after is, let's take that sweetness that's in the whiskey and really push it out. So you can't really talk about what's in there, but I can in a way. We've used a lot of Bunnahabhain in this one, which is one of our distilleries. That's why I'm comfortable talking about that. It's just a respect thing. You know, I don't think it's right to talk about other people's malts necessarily, but we use a lot of Bunnahabhain, which of course is famous for being a bit different and living on Islay, being iconic on Islay, being cult on Islay, but also being unpeated. You know, a bizarre decision probably, but I'm glad someone made it because it makes the whiskey so special. So we use a lot of unpeated Bunnahabhain, so it still has that Islay character, that Islay style, but the smoke level instantly drops. The other thing about double cask is the grain. So the grain whiskey in this blend is fully matured in red wine casks.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's why you have the red flash across the bottle. Again, it's non-aged, so I can't talk about the age of it, but it's actually very old as well, the grain. So it's in this red wine cask for a long time. And that's why you get such a big, jammy, sticky almost, candied fruits. You get like something sort of like cherry brandy almost.
Yeah, I was thinking tawny port. You know, you get that kind of tawny port note.
Yeah, all those kind of, if it's a colour, it's red. And if it's not red, it's pink and it's purple. There's a slightly oxidised purple, great for a Scottish accent. It's slightly oxidised, it's slightly fortified. Jammy is like a great descriptor, I think, for both double cask and my career. But
yeah. And it's bottled at a nice 46.3%, which is always, whiskey fans always like to see that.
So yeah, so even though we don't scream about it, that means it's non-chill filtered, and it's naturally coloured. So yeah, there's a lot to respect about the whiskey making philosophy at Distill that's been laid down over a long period. I'm inheriting it, but super supportive of it. Most of our products, almost all of them, are bottled at 46.3, so non-chill filtered and kind of a traditional strength for whiskey, you know. Yeah. And just because this is a blend, you know, some people think, oh, you'll just do that for your single malt. We believe that's important for the blends too. So it makes these two alchemies really stand out, you know. It just works.
And I suppose the thing about having a black bottle is it doesn't really matter what color it is, does it?
Yeah.
You're not going to get inconsistency in batches.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it comes out green, I'm probably in trouble, Henry. Yeah. You know, time to find a new role. But no, you're right. You're right. The black bottle, it's not about a standout on shelf. And you know, I don't think Spirit Caramel is the devil that some people believe it is, but there are certain people who use it so much that it just darkens everything, and that to me is it's not right. You know, it's not the way I would. It's not the way I want to do business.
Yeah. How long have you produced these alchemy ones? When were they launched?
So they launched last year. So they just launched last year. So I really just came in as they were launching. So Julianne and my team did a phenomenal job of putting together the batches. And I got to I was right there at the very end just to run my nose over them and make sure they were okay.
You just stamp, yes, good.
Yes. And, exactly. And we're going to do more. You know, they've been a massive success. They sold on places like Amazon. You can find them in your fine establishment. They're not as much for sale in like supermarkets, which is commonly where people found Black Bottle in bars back in the day. This was much more about, you know, we're adapting to people enjoying, you know, less, better, and at home. So it was just a cool way for the alchemy to launch. And, you know, with your very, very kind support, it's been a massive success. It's more expensive than the Black Bottle because the Black Bottle, I've said before, is just far too ridiculously affordable. But these, again, they are incredible value for limited edition, one-off whiskies in a series just showing Black Bottle in different lights.
Well, let's move on to the. I mean, I just have to say, not only do they taste great, but I just think the packaging is brilliant. Just they look magnificent.
It is super cool. That is super cool. You know, I was on Master Malt website just a couple of days ago and just having a look, various things, but it really does sort of jump out the page when you look at those bottles. They really do jump out. But yeah, right. So Island Smoke. So I think if people are watching, if anyone like you know me, Henry, and we go back and you know my kind of, let's say, bias. It's a preference, but it's not an absolute. But I really do have a thing for smoky whiskies. And I really have a thing for Islay whiskies. And I had a thing for Islay whiskies, and then I moved and lived on Islay, and it went from a preference to kind of like an obsession, you know. I would move back to Islay in a heartbeat if I could. And that's what I've always loved about Black Bottle, is that smokiness. And so with Island Smoke, Double Cask went after the sweetness, and it's fantastic. And I guess you could probably say in terms of skill, and in terms of cask selection, and in terms of overall balance and complexity, Double Cask is the better whiskey, you know, the better created. I've got a dog going ballistic behind me here. He's obviously a fan of Double Cask.
Yeah.
There he goes. He's just walking out the door. So thank you. Thanks for that, Louis. You're now famous. Thank you. So I would say Double Cask is probably more skillfully put together, you know, and it has more complexity. Double Cask has more interesting things to come back to and to find and to develop. But I prefer Island Smoke, because Island Smoke is more of this kind of, it's slightly rawer. It is way smokier. We've doubled up the proportion of smoky malt within the whiskey. So it's still a blend, so it's not going to be in your face TCP, but now you've got all these crazy like maritime notes, you know?
Yeah.
You've got some crushed up sea salt. You've got that, it's not TCP, but there's definitely that kind of, you know, seaweed, green stuff being washed up onto the beach from the sea. Perhaps the smell of an elderly fisherman wandering past.
There's a little bit of I get, which I always think is very Islay, bacon frazzled crisps. You know, yes. As soon as I get that, I always think Islay.
That is a fantastic tasting note. But yeah, I am right there with you. Incidentally, if you ever become like a global brand ambassador, Henry, and you travel the world, don't say frazzles, because I used it once in Taiwan and the translator pretty much had a heart attack on the spot trying to translate it. But yeah, there's that lovely little bacon, this smoky bacon made in a frying pan, the oil that drops to the side and starts to bubble, that kind of smokiness that Islay is very famous for. It's just, I think the two of them just sit side by side so well. One, let's go for an exploration of sweetness with red wine and downplaying the smoke with more Bonnehaven, and then this one is right. Let's go all out. I would actually say this goes back to something more akin to the original Black Bottle recipe, or the original, or the Black Bottle recipe when I started to drink Black Bottle and really love it. And I think that's probably something that I'm going to introduce to the main recipe as well, as I'm just slowly, not completely, but just increase the smoke a little bit more, because I just think it works in the blend so well.
This is fantastic. I love this. It's just so Islay, but not too much. You know, it's just the beautiful sort of sweetness, smoke, salt. It's all very harmonious, but at the same time, you know, kind of very Islay as well. Just love it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it's incredible whiskey. And again, you know, it's been a real success. We kind of launched it. We launched a small amount of it. You know, we did almost like a soft launch of the Alchemy series, because we really just didn't know how are people going to respond to this. Are people going to be confused? Are people going to say, "Oh, is this a single malt? This is more a single malt kind of thing," you know, a limited edition? And we just put out a little bit of it, and the taste is what sold it. The tastes, yeah, the packaging is great and it is beautiful, but they just taste so different, but so Black Bottle, that people just went crazy for it. So now we are releasing the rest of the batch, and yeah, it's
This is £26 a bottle, which is
Yeah.
bananas. You know, because if you're one of those people who loves certain Islay single malts, and the prices of, I won't name names, some of them have just gone, you know, they're expensive purchases now. And this is, you know, I'd say has a lot of that magic for £26. I think it's stunning.
If I was, and so ladies and gents, don't be offended, but if I was in charge of the whole thing, you know, I would be charging more. I think this whiskey, we did a blind taste with quite a few of your peers, Henry, some other journalists who's like yourself, whose opinions I respect greatly. And we had them taste a few whiskies blind and said, how much would you pay for a whiskey just based on this? And I'll tell you a couple of facts about it. And people were saying 40 to 45. You know, that's the kind of price, and you're getting it for 26. So buy two.
Yeah. No, I'm very, very, very impressed. I haven't tried these before either, and I just think that this Island Smoke is, you know, incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal stuff.
So this is a limited edition, then.
Yeah, so it's called the Alchemy series, and what we're going to do is we're going to release more of them. So Alchemy series release number 1 was the double cask, and then release number 2 was the Island Smoke. It's quite possible I've got that the wrong way around, but you get where I'm going here. I have every intention, and I'm working on a third in this range and a fourth. Now, because I'm working on them doesn't mean they're going to be released, but it's my intention to. And if the sales are there and our customers, our Black Bottle fans enjoy them, then we'll make more of them. But that's my intention. I can see this. There's so much in Black Bottle too. There's so many jumping off points. I can think of 10 things I'd love to do with these whiskies and have a beautiful range there. But these ones are limited. When this batch is gone, it's gone.
Right. Well, I would advise people to hurry, because I think this is one of the nicest whiskies I've had in a while, and I'm kind of knocked out by the price. This is going out on Burns Night. We're recording it a bit before. Have you got plans for Burns Night? Have you got a special dram you'll be drinking?
On Burns Night, we're going to do. I'll be honest, it's like typical Scotsman. You don't really do that much for Burns Night because you're used to it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, this year we're going to have going to get a wee haggis in. I'll cook that, do the neeps and the tatties. We're going to do a wee Zoom for a couple of my friends. I'm going to get a couple of my friends, and we're going to do a little Zoom, and we're going to do a wee whiskey tasting with me, you know. And you can imagine, because I'm doing it with my friends, I just get, you know, wall-to-wall abuse from them, and absolutely no encouragement. But the whiskies will be good. So we'll be having Black Bottle 10. So we have a 10-year-old Black Bottle. We're having that, and we're also going to have some Leitchig. So these are the two that I think will go best with haggis, neeps and tatties and whiskey sauce. So Black Bottle 10 and Leitchig Sinclair series, which is sort of red wine, Rioja red wine, fully finished Leitchig. So just, you know, it's like,
that sounds good. Yeah.
It's imagine like really fresh fruit, like strawberries, beautiful raspberries, all just perfect. And just before you eat them, you dip them into a pot of diesel and petrol,
right,
and then eat. That's
how I always eat my fruit. Just pick the fruit into the diesel.
Yeah,
you know, bit of cream.
Exactly. And that's Leitchig Sinclair series in a nutshell. It's just super smoky and crazy big red wine, and it's the color on it's incredible, and it just will go so well. Spicy, meaty, yeah. So that's our plan for Burns Night. It's just gonna be like a quick 1 hour, an hour and a half Zoom with a few friends that are dotted around. So yeah, looking forward to it.
That's great. Well, this brings us neatly on to, I think you've agreed to read a poem for us for Burns Night, and this is our Burns Night poetry competition, which this year has just been bananas. We had nearly 300 entries. Some of them were, you know, incredibly high standard, but we all agreed there was one clear winner by Nikki Harris. And I think what I loved about this poem is it captures that Burns is funny, you know, but I think people take Burns very seriously, you know, sort of chin stroking and, you know, the sort of serious burns, I was going to say. Sorry. But he's really, really funny. You read a Burns poem and you can't help but smile. And I felt like this poem by Nicky Harris really captured that. So are you happy to take it away?
Yeah. So this is hot off the press, ladies and gents. So I'm going to hold. I'm not on TikTok or in the poems here. So I'm just going to read it. And I'm not really a poet myself. So well done, congratulations. Your poem's excellent. I will do my best not to murder it. But if I do murder it, I've just had 3 whiskies, so give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, so here is the winning poem. So I'd like to put it here on record for all the world to see. I may be small, I may be brown, but timorous isn't me. I've watched the chap sat at his desk drinking his so-called tea. The sort of tea that makes him squint and sing of auld lang, see? The trouble I have gone to get him off to bed so I can have the house to myself and get me properly fed. The tea makes him forgetful. He often leaves good crumbs. So I need him off to bed, then I can call my chums. And so we feast on cheese and bread and dance the night away. We timorous cowering beasties all, see in a brand new day.
I just think it's lovely, and it's got such a nice rhythm, and you read it beautifully. So I suppose we should say Sláinte.
Yeah, Sláinte.
And to the immortal bard.
Yes, the bard.
Right, thank you, Brendan. I will leave you to get on with making great whiskey. Thank you very much. And just reiterate, they're all available from Master Malt. Ridiculous bargains. Fill your boots.
Love it. Thank you, Henry. I'll see you soon.
Okay.